So welcome back. Today we are working on lesson 8. We are solving 1 and 2 step inequalities notes. It's pretty much the same thing as solving an equation, except this time we have an alligator mouth. So I started the notes here. We're going to look at this guy first. Sometimes you color in the circle and sometimes you don't. You are going to leave this circle not colored in if you have an alligator mouth without an equal to bar. So take a second if you need to pause the video, go ahead and do that and write those notes down. And then here you color in the circle if you have an equal to bar. See that line right there? Less than or equal to or greater than or equal to. So again, pause the video as you need to keep up with the notes. So now we're going to take that information for problems 1 through 4 and we're going to graph our inequalities. So for question 1, we have x is less than 3. Before I do anything, I am going to put the numbers on my number line. I'm going to put a 0 in the center. 1, 2, 3. And you don't have to. You can start your numbers wherever you want, as long as our problem can be plotted on our number line somewhere. So I have a 3. So I'm going to put a circle on 3. If you really want to put it above the number line, that's okay too. There's no equal to bar, so I'm not going to color it in. Now here's our alligator mouth. It's pointing to the left, so my arrow is going to go in the same direction. I'm going to set up the number lines for questions 2, 3, and 4. You do the same, and then once I come back in this video, it'll go quicker. I actually saved number 4 for we're going to set that one up together. So for question 2, x is greater than -1. I'm going to put a circle on -1. And again, there's no equal to bar, so I don't color in the circle. My arrow this time is pointing to the right, so this arrow is going to point to the right. Now, just as a review from your junior high classes, what this means right here is that any number you pick on this arrow will make our original inequality true. For example, if I plug in a 2 up here in for x, 2 is greater than -1. Yeah, that's true. That means any of those will make the inequality true. You should not pick the circle. If the circle is not colored in, as in this case, if you plug that in here, let me erase this. If you plug a -1 into this inequality, it's not true. It's false because -1 is not bigger than -1. It's equal to. So let's look down at number 3. X is greater than or equal to 7. So I have my 7 plotted here. I'm actually going to color that one in because there's an equal to bar and my arrow points to the right. So this arrow points to the right. So I left number 4 because of the negative. When you're counting negatives on a number line, you're actually counting backwards. This is what I've seen in the past, and this is what you don't want to do. 0, -1, -2, -3. See how I'm counting up on my negatives? That's not right. You're actually counting to the left. So I'm going to do 0, -1, -2. Okay. The farther left you go, the smaller your value actually is. So let's plot -5, and I'm going to color it in because that equal to bar. And my arrow is pointing to the left. And there we plotted it on a number line. Now let's move down to the next section. Here our number line is given and we're going to write our inequality. So whenever I write my inequality, I always start with an X or whatever letter you feel like using. So I'm going to put that for all of these. Might as well get that out of the way. And it's important when you're reading an inequality to check and make sure the variable is first. So here we have our X. Oh look, I just made an inequality symbol right there. So I'm going to move that up. Now, I'm going to look at my number. It's kind of hard to see. That's a -2, and the circle's not colored in. So I'm not going to put an equal to bar there. There, we made it. That's all you got to do. So for number 6, where's my arrow? It's right there. It's pointing to the right. So my alligator mouth is going to point in the same direction. I have a 4, and this 4 is colored in. So I'm going to put an equal to bar. For number 7, the arrow is pointing to the left. In class, we would say it's pointing to the door. So my number is on 0, and it's colored in, so I'm going to put an equal to bar. The last one, arrow's pointing to the right. It's on -3, and it's not colored in, so I'm not going to put an equal to bar. Now, I'm going to make a different video because we're going to do some solving of inequalities. So come back for the rest.